Welcome back. It's the middle of the week, and it's time for Exodus chapter 3. Moses has been driven off to Midian, and he has married Zipporah, Jethro's daughter, and he is watching Jethro's sheep on Mount Horeb in Midian. We're going to pick up reading now with verse 1. Now Moses was keeping the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, and he led his flock to the west side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. He looked, and behold, the bush was burning, yet it was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. When the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Then the Lord said, Do not come near. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place on which you are standing is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. First thing that God does when he calls Moses in the burning bush, theologians call that theophany, the revelation of God in a physical way. When we see the first thing that God does when Moses comes near is he says who he is. He identifies himself as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, and showed himself to be holy by commanding Moses to take off his shoes because he was standing on holy ground. Moses did what most people do when they're in the presence of God, when God reveals himself to them. They hide their face. They bow to the ground. It says Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. Let's move on to verse 7, where we find the why of God appearing. Then the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and I have heard their cry because of the taskmasters. I know their suffering, and I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey. We see the why here. Why is God doing this? Because he saw their affliction, first of all. He saw the hard labor, what they were going through. He heard their crying. He's God. He knew, right? And then he says, I have heard, so now I am going to deliver them from the hand of the Egyptians. And then, more than just delivering them, he's going to give them a land flowing, as it says, with milk and honey. See, God hears him. He not only answers their desire to be delivered, but he gives them a promise of what he will give to them that is even better than they can imagine. Let's continue, verse 13. Then Moses said to God, if I come to the people of Israel and I say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. So God identified himself, first of all, to Moses. He said what he was doing, the why he was doing it. And now he's again recalling who he is. When Moses asked, okay, what do I say? God says, tell him that I am. The Hebrew word for I am is Yahweh. In the Bible, we'll see that translated Lord in all caps. That's the idea of this. Now I want you to fast forward a little bit to John's gospel. When Jesus was before the Pharisees and arguing about Moses and the law and different things, they said, you're not even 30 years, and yet you were there when Moses was around. And Jesus said something like this: before Moses was, I am. And they wanted to stone Jesus. That reason for the stoning most likely was he was using the name of the Lord, Yahweh, to speak about who he was, to show his divinity as the very Son of God. So that name, I am, is important. And the meaning of that is important. You could add a lot. Jesus did 7 different I ams in John's gospel, but God's saying this: I am, first of all, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob. I am the God of your fathers. I am the God who is with you now. I am the God who will deliver you once and for all. Continuing with verse 18. And they will listen to your voice. You and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and then say to him, the Lord, the God of Hebrews, has met with us. And now please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless compelled by a mighty hand. So I will stretch out my hand and strike Egypt with all the wonders that I will do in it. After that, he will let you go. This is the how, and it shows the foreknowledge of God. God says, ask Pharaoh to go. Take the elders with you. God will say, nope, not going to do it. I will send wonders, miracles. Think the 10 plagues as we're going forward. And then he will let you go. God shows his plan here. He shows that he is the great I am. I am who I am. And he is no wonder, no other. He is the one true God. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God of the Old Testament and the God of the New. Our God and our deliverer. Come back tomorrow and we'll hear a few more of Moses' excuses. A reminder, please read through the rest of chapter 3 if you haven't done it already. God bless.